What's up? What's up? What's up? I am here with the late night edition, chatting tonight with Miss Nicole Barham. If you have never been introduced to her, y'all are in for a treat. She is one of my speakers at my upcoming Freedom is the New Flex virtual summit. The summit kicks off on June 15th, and Nicole, as well as an all-star panel of powerhouses, are going to be coming and giving us tangible insight and techniques on how we can build more freedom and flexibility in our business. And Nicole is going to chat about today. She's going to chat about how you build in freedom in your finances. A lot of times, when people talk about finances, it's like, I'm trying to go high in the corner somewhere. But Nicole's going to give you tangible tips on how you can just free yourself from that anxiety. But before we jump into that, and I have Nicole introduce herself, let me introduce myself. If you are brand new to my live, brand new to the page, what's up, y'all? My name is Chanel. Coaches and experts hire me when they want to dominate on social media. And I do that with cash generating social media strategies so that you can get more money in the bank. And then you got to hire Nicole to help you get that finance freedom. So, Nicole, introduce yourself. Let us know what your secret sauce is with this financial freedom.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much, Chanel, for inviting me to be here tonight, to be on the summit. Hello, everyone. I am Nicole Barham. I am the CEO and finance coach at Design Your Wealth and also the creator of 5 Minute Bookkeeper. If you have been in these internet streets and you have not heard about 5 Minute Bookkeeper, you have not been in these internet
You've
streets.
been under a rock. They've been under
Exactly.
rocks. That's good.
I really help mostly women entrepreneurs, solo entrepreneurs who do not have any finance tracking, any systems in place to keep on top of their business finances. And then they're
Mm,
usually scrambling at tax time, the weekend before the 15th, trying to get all their numbers together for 12 months, going crazy. Sometimes it's
hmm
fudging the numbers, let's be real, right?
Right.
Just to get it in there so they can file
And
their
back
tax.
in the day, they call that plugging it. You plug in the numbers.
Yes. You plug in the numbers. And so 5 Minute Bookkeeper kind of removes all that overwhelm and just has you being on top of your numbers in just 5 minutes a day, right? And a lot of people say 5 minutes a day, Nicole. And I'm like, yeah, if you run a service based online business, you do not have more than five, max 10 transactions a day. You can afford 5 minutes to get that sorted and to see where you're at any point in the month, how you're doing daily, weekly, monthly, and year to date in your finances. And I also work one on one with clients who do not really want to do the finances by themselves. I do
Mhm.
some hand holding with that. So
Okay.
that's me in a nutshell. And it's been amazing. The response has been beyond what I expected.
hmm Yeah, because you know what, and I don't even know if you know this about me, Nicole, but I am a former CPA. So I used to work in big, big six accounting, back when it was six, big six accounting as a CPA, ticking and tying numbers, plugging numbers, like you say, when we don't have it. And sometimes when people see a number, even if it's just a spreadsheet, they see a number, they panic, right? So I
Yes,
love that really have simplified this process so that people, because as business owners we have to stay on top of our finances. There's no way around it, right? If
absolutely.
you
Yes.
don't, it leads to it leads to stress, it leads to a whole lot of stuff. But give me just one tip on how a business owner can just stay on top of their finances. Just one tip on just how they can implement that.
Okay, so I still have clients who come to me say they still write their numbers down. And listen,
Mm,
it's 2022. If you want to keep writing, it's your deal. Doesn't matter to
right.
me how you want to do it, right?
hmm
But I would love to see all of my entrepreneurs because there's so many women entrepreneurs. Like we make up a larger percentage of entrepreneurs, new entrepreneurs, and
right,
yet we make the
absolutely.
least money,
Mm,
right? And especially women of color, right?
yeah,
50,000
absolutely.
$50,000 a year is the average that we make in our
hmm
businesses. And I'm saying if you knew your numbers, you probably would want to increase your prices,
that's
right?
true.
You probably want to figure out a strategy and say, "Ooh, I'm bringing in only 5,000 or 5,000 a month. Maybe
hmm
I want to, increase my prices if I want to bring in 10,000 and work backwards,
hmm
right?" So strategy when you're looking at your numbers daily or at least weekly, okay, let's say you're not a fanatic like myself, and you're noting your numbers every single day. Let's do it at least weekly so we can see what's happening with our numbers, right? Because
Mm.
as my friend Keisha would say, if you don't know your numbers, you can't grow your numbers.
I
And
love that.
so knowing your numbers is so important in being an entrepreneur because honestly, Chanel, we do this for so many things, but one of the main reasons why we're in business is to make money, right? And if we're not managing the
Absolutely.
money and if we're not paying attention to the money, then how are we going to build a successful business, right? Or beyond a certain
Absolutely.
point. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And you can't get what I love that you said is that you have to be intentional with it, right?
Yes.
And you can't grow. You can accidentally make money, but you can't
Yes.
grow and you can't scale it if you're not staying on top of the numbers. So I love that you've simplified this process. So let's back up a little bit. So how was this birth? So, I know a little bit about your story and, hopefully the audience is really tuning in because I know that this is about to get the juicy part. So I know that at some point you filed bankruptcy and then you turned that lesson in that life lesson into a multiple six-figure brand. What was the mindset shift that you had to go through? Because sometimes bankruptcy, I mean, that's like a traumatic experience. It can be. So how did you, from a mindset standpoint, like transform and just grow your business?
I tell a lot of people that it's a combination of being a Virgo, being, uh,
Okay. Okay.
being intrinsically motivated. So I'm the kind of person who is like, okay, I want this thing, I'm gonna work for it,
Hmm.
and I will work until I get it. So I've always
Hmm.
been like that, even from little, right? And
Yeah.
then I also I'm solution oriented, right? And I know
Hmm.
that people tease Virgos all the time and say, yo, we think we know everything, and we're like, and we're like, if you don't, you can't do it as well as I do. Just let me do it, kind of
Hmm.
thing, right? So I wanted to figure out a solution to this thing, right? Um,
Hmm.
I let me tell you how I got to the bankruptcy. So I was running an online business years ago when everybody was getting into affiliate marketing and it was cool and and
Hmm.
so I was making great money, but I was also not paying attention to my money. And so was
Hmm.
just using credit card like it was free money and just
Hmm.
not paying attention. And then when the company that I was affiliated with went belly up, then
Oh God.
we lost our income and um, took my head out of the sand. I call that the
Oh my
ostrich effect,
Mhm.
and was six figures in personal and business debt, right?
Mm.
And so I was, it was a very shameful period, right? Very
Mhm.
embarrassing. It was years and years. I wasn't going to talk about my bankruptcy when I started building my
Yeah.
business, right?
Right.
Because I'm like, oh my gosh, that is so embarrassing. I don't want people to know this. But then
Mhm.
I have a life coach, and she said to me, that is where you're going to connect with people,
Yeah,
right?
that's your story.
Yeah, that's your story. You can't leave out that part of your story because it's basically the catalyst that for this successful business that
Mhm.
you're running, right? So yeah, we filed the bankruptcy, and I remember I was in court, and somebody, I think my lawyer said, "Oh, people file bankruptcy more than once." I'm like, not me. I'm like,
Right.
one
Right.
and done, one and done.
Mhm.
And so I came home and I'm like, well, I have an accounting background. I started my career in accounting right out of high school.
Mhm.
And I also learned how to build these really simple spreadsheets when I was working in corporate.
Mhm.
So I kind of, merged those skills and started to create these really simple spreadsheets, right?
Love
Plug my
it.
numbers in, 2 minutes.
Mhm.
I could see my monthly summary. I could see we started budgeting. And the thing about that
Mhm.
too is that necessity, they say, is the father or mother of invention, right? So
Mhm.
we were there was no credit, and my husband and I had to live off what we made. What a concept!
Right.
And so we had to keep on top of
You had
it.
to make it
So,
work. Right. You
yeah,
had to make it work.
yeah, because checks would be bouncing all over the place, and so we had to be sure that we had money. And no shame in my game. We even had to borrow money from family members to make
Mhm.
sure that we were on top of our finances and paying our bills. And so that habit, I mean, literally, Chanel, I was in my finances, my personal finances, every
Mhm.
single day, creating budgets, all of that. And then
Mhm.
it got to the point where it was like second nature for me, right? And I
Mhm.
said to myself, nobody taught me this. I never saw
Right.
anyone offering this online or anywhere in the world, watching the Susie Ormans and all the other people. nobody was saying, this is how you do it. They're always saying, you
Mhm.
can't afford it, you're in debt, but nobody really practically told you how to take care
Right.
of your finances. And so I was like, you know what, nobody's doing this. I'm going to start a side hustle. Because I've always had the
Mhm.
entrepreneur bug. Like my
Yeah.
grandparents are in their 80s and 90s. They've always had this grocery store from I was born
Mhm.
or before. And so I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. And I started side hustling many years ago, started in the network marketing, all of that. So I really, when I got the idea, I jumped on it right away. And then I
Awesome.
started to reach out to people and started to offer this. And so that's
Mhm.
my story from
I
bankruptcy
love
to
it.
this idea, and then now to being a finance coach.
Right. And some TV features and some
Yes.
media features and all that good stuff. So yes, I'm here for it. And here's two things that I picked up from what you said. One, you leverage your corporate experience. You know, a lot of
Yes.
times like we stop and then we're like, okay, I'm quitting this job, and then we pretend like our corporate past is just of the past. But
Didn't
like you
exist.
leveraged your corporate experience. The other
Yeah.
thing that I love that you did is that you took a chance on yourself, really, to be honest. You gave yourself freedom to do
Yeah.
something new and freedom to pivot and do something, that hadn't been done before. So I
Right.
love that story.
Thank you.
Absolutely love that story for sure. So when you're working with businesses and your business yourself, so you've gotten to multiple six figures, media mentions, and I know that you're busy and have sessions and coaching and stuff going on, but how do you build freedom into your business? How do you have a family, a thriving business? So what's some things that you do to make sure that you stay flexible and freedom based in your own business?
Okay. So there are a few things that I do. And one of them is I work only 4 hours a day in my business.
Okay.
So I start working at 10 and I end at 2 every day.
Hmm.
Right. And I did that because I didn't want to leave a job and come home to a job and like create a job at home
Right.
with my business, right? And
Mhm.
so I wanted to. One of my big reasons why is my son. I mentioned earlier, my son Brandon
Mhm.
has autism, and he
Mhm.
I wanted to take him to school and pick him up from school. I wanted his therapist to
Mhm.
be in the house during the day and not at
Okay.
night. We're going to bed. We're having a therapist at our home at 9 o'clock at night.
Mhm.
And so I built that into my business so that I can end at 2 so I can go get my son from school,
Okay.
right? And then when he comes home, like there's no way that I'm going to be working. So that's one
Mhm.
of the things that's how I built freedom, time freedom. And people are like, money doesn't give you free, is not the most important thing when it comes to freedom. It's time because you can always
Mhm.
make more money, but you can't make more time,
Right.
right?
Mhm.
And so that is how I've built freedom into my business. And
Love it.
really, it's been amazing. I make
Yeah.
sure that I don't burn myself out at home because I was burning
Mhm.
myself out at work, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Which can be really, especially like with these past 2 years, during the pandemic, it can be really challenging. We're working
Yes.
from home, you got your kids, you pop up and, you go and, put a load of laundry in, let me cook dinner. So it can be very challenging to not burn yourself out. So I love
Yes.
that you kind of structure your business around that freedom and flexibility so that you can tend to the other things in your life that are important to you as well.
Yeah. Absolutely. And oh, by the way, another thing that I do is I take naps. I
Okay.
am
Every
such
day, or is it just when you feel like,
almost every single day. Like I
okay.
literally am falling asleep at 3 p.m.
Oh my gosh.
So naps are so important, especially because as an entrepreneur, if I don't know about you, Chanel, but I am the quote unquote brain in my business right now, right? So I
Mhm.
have to be thinking about all the things and working with different
Right.
people and so many moving parts. My brain
Mhm.
is tired by 3 o'clock. I'm like, I need a nap.
You are
So
right. Yeah, you are right.
that's
And
freedom for me.
I'm sort of similar, but I usually don't take a nap, but I build in usually around two
A
o'clock. So
rest.
I'm similar to you. So I usually don't start if I schedule a call before 9 o'clock, like there's like it's either early morning flight
Yeah,
or like my kid missed the bus, like one or the other. Like I'm not starting before 9, but I
yeah,
usually start my day usually around like 9:30, 10-ish.
right,
But I do pick my kids up from school. Like now they drive, of course, but like I usually kind of stop the day around like 2:30 or so. But
right.
if I'm in that in between period, then I cook dinner so that my family isn't eating at like 9 o'clock at night. Or today, like for example, like I took a break and like did some gardening, just so I don't always
Mhm.
take a nap per se, but just being able to build in something that you want to do that refreshes you.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
for me, like you said, we're the brains. And so just doing something even as simple as like planting some flowers just gives your brain a
a
break.
break. Yeah.
Yep,
Love
absolutely.
it.
So for you, it's naps. For me, it's hanging out on my deck and playing with my flowers. But yes, if you are listening, you got to build in some downtime in your schedule. So I'm
Absolutely.
chatting with Nicole Barham today. She is a financial whiz. She is the creator of the 5 Minute Bookkeeper. If you don't know about Nicole or the 5 Minute Bookkeeper, she said earlier, "Where you been? You've been hiding under a rock, man." But we're chatting about freedom in your business, freedom in your finances. And she does that with her 5 Minute Bookkeeper as well as her financial coaching. But she's also going to be speaking next week at the Freedom is the New Flex Virtual Summit. It's June 15th. I'll make sure that you have the link in the caption and in the comments. But we're going to have an awesome time talking about how to kick off your summer, but more importantly, catapulting the rest of your year based in freedom and flexibility. And I'm super excited to have you, Nicole.
Thank
So
you.
give us some. So I know that you have the book 5 Minute Bookkeeper. You're starting to do more coaching and consulting. So what's next for you? What are you going to start doing next?
Okay, so next I am going to host a masterclass. So five
Cool.
days after the Freedom is the New Flag Summit, I have a masterclass. It's called Master Your Money, Fast Track Your Wealth. And
Mm,
it's going to be talking about some strategies I spoke about earlier, about like being in your money, paying attention to your money so you
mm-hmm.
can make decisions, future decisions in your business, strategic decisions
Love
about
it.
how to grow your business, right? And so I'll be doing that, and included in the masterclass is a free workshop for anyone who
Mm-hmm.
signs up by June 10th. You are going to be able to come to the workshop. It's a 90-minute workshop about how to create your easy yes digital product. And five
Nice.
minute bookkeeper for me was an easy yes.
Mm-hmm.
I sold my first copy before I had a checkout page. And
Okay.
so I'm going to, teach people how to, what are the different components of having that
Mm-hmm.
product that everybody wants, right? And so, I've been on Good Morning America, Black Enterprise, Essence, all of that. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm the real deal, right? And I
Yeah.
can toot my own horn a little bit. So I think I know what I'm talking about. And so I'll be just condensing a lot of my knowledge into the masterclass and also into the workshop
I love
for
it.
people who want to learn.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Yes, y'all. She is the real deal. No fluff. As I consider, and I was talking with one of the other speakers, Chrissy, this afternoon, and we were talking about, and I just love that you found success in 5 Minute Bookkeeper, and now you're teaching business owners how to do something a little bit different. But we were talking earlier today about giving ourselves the freedom and permission to try new things and to pivot.
Yes.
So I love that you mentioned that. So again, we're chatting with Nicole. She is one of our speakers next week at the Freedom is the New Flex Virtual Summit. Hit the link in the caption, grab your ticket, grab the RSVP for the VIP. Super excited. Nicole, where can people find you online? Where are you at in these internet streets?
The easiest way to contact me is through IG,
Okay.
Instagram. So my handle is Nicole Barham, my name and number two afterwards. And you can learn about the masterclass, the 5 minute bookkeeper, my coaching, all of that over there in my bio. So that's the easiest way to connect with me.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So y'all go head over to her Instagram, show her some love, and then we will see you next week at the Freedom is the New Flex Virtual Summit. We're going to have a full day of powerhouse speakers, coaches that can teach you just some tangible insights, some strategies on how to build your business rooted in freedom, you rooted in flexibility, so that you can either take naps in the middle of the day, do some gardening in the middle of the day, travel, or you know what, just take a nap or just sit and do nothing. So super excited for next week. Freedom is the New Flex Virtual Summit. The link is in the caption. Cannot wait to see y'all next week, and we will see you then. Chat with y'all later.
Bye.